Hello, this is the analysis of Nathaniel. Back with another video here. No, this video, no, I'm just ranking. No, it's another one of those ranking videos. So, you guys remember like that series I did where I do games I recently bought. So I'm kind of ranking some of those games, most of them. So some of those games I played or I did play, but I didn't have enough time to play it, or there's glitches. My console wasn't working properly, so yeah. But for the most part, like I played all of these ones. I'm gonna be ranking them, and if you guys what you guys know, subscribe, like, share the video, please. A comment for feedback, please. The commenting always helps. So let me know, what you guys think. Have you guys played like any of the games I'm talking about? If so, do you guys like them or not? Let me know. So ranking is based on my opinion. It's based on my enjoyment like of the game, and I talk about like quickly progression or the exploration, the open world, the character development quickly, or a presentation of cutscenes. But I'm gonna try and do it quickly. So it's no, no, it is ranked 15 down to one, the top 15, and yeah, again, all are subjective. You know, so yeah, and again, these are the newer games that I did buy. So these are the games that I did play, and this is the first year that I did play them, or recently played. So anyways, now number one is gonna be no 15 is gonna be Shadow of no not Shadow of Mordor, Ghost Recon. Where is that? Ghost Recon. I think this is the first Ghost Recon ever. So no, I played it recently. No, there's lots of problems. No, there's problems with the overall map. It is an old game. It's 2002, so it's a very old game. The shooting mechanics needs work. The movement needs work. The AI is troubled, And there's something where there's a part in the game where you have to get to a certain point, but you can't get to it because part of the map is glitched. Even though it says like on the map that it's not out of bounds, but you can't go there. You can't go there. And on top of that, there is a glitch where you can't save. The game pauses every time you try and save it, so it is problematic. I can't save, so yeah, that alone it makes the game kind of unplayable. But when it does work, it is kind of enjoyable. It is kind of enjoyable, but all those problems, needs obviously it being very old game. It's a really old game, right? So yeah, that's number 15. Number 14 is gonna be Shadow of Mordor. Very repetitive. Why didn't rank it higher? No, it has those. It has kind of like that, how do you call it again? Dark Souls or Witcher 3 feel to it, kind of in a way. Where it is a third person medieval like type game, open world. But it's very repetitive. You're just basically hunting. There's not much to it. You're hunting down orc lords basically. You're taking them out, then you're getting intel for new orc lords and all that. So that's basically like what the game is. There's not much variety to it. You do have your story missions. There's one where spoilers you do meet Gollum. If you guys know Lord of the Rings, is based on Lord of the Rings. So yeah. There is upgrades, lots of different upgrades, and just the overall how you fight. The fighting is not bad. The fighting is not bad. That could be better. The fighting mechanics could be better, but yeah, it's just very repetitive. The overall repetitiveness of the gameplay is what holds it back, I feel, But yeah, that's number 14, and I hope to play more of this again, but I don't know. It depends if I have time. And then number 13 is Cyberpunk 2077. I really wanted to like this. I had problems with it though. With Cyberpunk 2077 has a problem of, again, you guys know the glitches in the game. I didn't have that many glitches in it because I bought it recently. I bought this like 3 weeks ago. The game is like, it came out last year. But overall, the game, the shooting is not fun. The shooting mechanics is not fun. I talked about this last week. Like when I'm in a shootout, I can't wait for the shootout to end. It's that, it's kind of mentally draining where, and it is hard. Like, you're gonna die a lot, right? So, the enemies, the basic bullet sponges, you die, you'll die. Then you gotta, so like you end up having to redo these sections over and over, these shooting sections, and there's no third person mode. It's only a first person view, right? And the same company that made The Witcher, you would think that it would have a third person view for like when you're on foot, but no, it doesn't at all. It needs a third person view, where you see the back of the character. and said like of just the gun. No, there is driving mechanics needs work. The overall movement mechanics needs work. But again, overall, the dialogue options, it does have that Witcher 3 feel to it. You can feel the Witcher 3 in it with the dialogue options. But it's not enough to carry the game. It needs work, and you know, the overall, I know I like the overall. Yeah, in the future, you're hacking into type of like, you know, I kind of like these surveillance systems or whatever. It's pretty cool. Like, it's really cool. The overall, you know, surveillance and sabotaging, you know, hacking into systems and all that. And yeah, cyber security. But yeah, the game needs work. It needs work. Next one is gonna be. This is a tricky one. This is a very tricky one. I guess a Rayman Legends or Rayman Legends basically. I don't really have much of a problem with this game, but compared to other games, I like other games more. That's why it's ranked 12. So, and again, I do 15 down to 1. Rayman Legends again is like Crash Bandicoot, arcade type platformer game. I know it is pretty fun. It is really, really, you know, like it is pretty fun. Yeah, not really much to say about it. You know, a cartoonish, very cartoonish feel to it. You have monsters and you're jumping on platforms and different characters that you unlock. There's tons of different characters you can unlock and arenas, replayability, and yeah. Next one is gonna be. Actually, you know what? Jak 3 is 12. I kind of mixed them up. I mixed up the list. This is 12. Rayman is 11. Jak 3 now. It has the linear. It's very, super linear game. So you basically go here, do that. Go here. Go to the next point. Do this. Do this. Do this. But with Jak 3. So really, these are in a reverse. My bad. It's in reverse. But Jak 3 is ranked 12 because overall, I feel like the game didn't really know what it wanted to be. It had trouble, you know. Like there's so many layers to the game. I had a lot of layers to the game, but some of the layers don't really work for the game. It's a platforming game. The platforming is annoying. The racing is pretty fun. Shooting, even though it doesn't utilize the shooting as much, you know. It could utilize it more. The game is best when it's a shooting game. It's fun. It's really fun to shoot enemies, right? You got bullets that can bounce off walls, but it doesn't utilize that enough. And I'm lost in the game. I don't care about the story or not really. The cutscenes are pretty good, but the characters are there. But yeah, I needed work. I need to focus on one genre, and it's basically like Ratchet and Clank. If it was more like a Ratchet and Clank game, where you utilize your weapons more. It would be better. It would be better, I feel. Yeah. It's super linear too. Very linear. And not really much to do outside like of the main story. Collectibles or racing or challenges, but yeah. Jak 3. And then number 10 is Crysis 2. I like the Call of Duty feel to it in the game. There's a strong Call of Duty, you know, like we played a campaign of Call of Duty. Those older campaigns where explosions, there's tons of weapons to pick up. There's like a huge, large scale battles, you know, of shootouts and all that. And this one has the alien vision. You're like a cyborg. Why I didn't rank it higher? No, it is number 10. I didn't rank it higher because, yeah, the multiplayer doesn't work. I feel, I really want to play the multiplayer. There is problems where the enemies just spawn continuously. You'll die a lot in sections, redoing sections over and over and over and over again. But you gotta really know there's a multiple approach where you can take it stealthy, where you got camo, you got cloaking, so you go invisible. There's other ones where you just go gun blazing, and there's other ones where you're gonna have teammates with you, the AI teammates that will help you out in it, you know. But yeah, overall not bad. I'm gonna get the Crysis 3. So my next ranking video, I'm gonna rank the other batch of new games. I'm gonna hopefully have Crysis 3 on here. But yeah, and it just felt. Again, some of the mechanics, the controls felt off. I feel, you know. Well, yeah, Crysis. Great voice acting, great cinematics too. But yeah. Number 9 is Resident Evil 2 Remake. There's not really. The game could be longer, I would say. I beat this game in 2 days, but the game could be longer, and you could tell that there are certain areas that they did remove. Some of the pacing of the game feels so fast. They really want to push through it. But actually, Resident Evil 3 It's really fun actually. It's actually fun. It's a fun game. Again, you can tell they're kind of moving away from horror and more into action. It's more action oriented. This one has a dodge mechanic, so the zombies can't bite you. You know, you can dodge a little way and not get bitten. It is a lot easier compared to Resident Evil 2. The Nemesis boss, which is the main guy, I feel like he was more scripted. His presence was more scripted compared to Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 remake. He was more of a presence, no, like more of a sort of menace, you know, the boss fights. And yeah, there's tons of weapons. There's lack of weapons in this one. Not surprisingly, there is lack of weapons. No, I feel this one had more enemy variety compared to Resident Evil 2 remake. And yeah, the overall is, you know, the exploration is pretty fun. Going throughout areas, and you gotta go in a research facility where the zombies, and you gotta find certain key cards or certain areas that will that have you gotta find like a vaccine for the virus, and you gotta mix it with some sort of freezing solution or something like that. It's pretty fun. Resident Evil 3 remake, and this is the remake, came out early last year, almost 2 years ago now. Next one is gonna be Daxter PSP. Daxter PSP. It is pretty fun. I'm say it. I would, you know, there's not much bad to say about this really. I feel like no, it's number 8. No, I feel like the problem with Daxter is that the PSP controls, it is hard to play. It is hard to play a game like this on the PSP, so you're gonna be struggling a lot with the controls. And there's glitches. There's a glitch where a mission won't start, right? Let's say like if you're in the yellow marker, you wanna start the mission, but there's a glitch. The glitch just won't start the mission. It's like, god damn, I really want to start this mission, but I can't. So yeah, Daxter, and yeah, you know, an upgrade system in this, again, it doesn't really have an upgrade. There isn't really a progression system, a clear progression system in it. But yeah, I needs, if it wasn't for those glitches and the controls, the controls need to be smoother. And some of the enemies are annoying, you know. So yeah, that's number 8. The number 7, Tomb Raider. Uncharted, very similar to Uncharted, really similar. Tomb Raider does have that problem where, again, third person action adventure, going through the world, your bow and arrows, guns, you got, you know, knives or whatever, and melee weapons. Now, it does suffer from the problem of too many enemies respawning over and over and over again, so you end up having to get into a lot of firefights just for the sake of it. You know, it gets repetitive. That's why I didn't bring it up the list. But aside from that, though, pretty good. Pretty good. I didn't really care much for the characters, but you know, the exploration of the island. Now, the exploration, they could have added more to it. But going through the puzzles, like it has a good balance of puzzles, cutscenes, and collectibles. There is secrets to the islands. You know, you're basically going to a Japanese island that's been deserted, right? And there's secrets of the samurai or whatever. So yeah. Number 7. And number 6 is Detroit Becomes Human. Due to its replayability, it's probably the most replayable, one of the most replayable games ever. Even though it's not really a game. It's more of an interactive movie experience. But it's really good. It does very good. Whoever, Quantic Studio Dreams, they do very well with the cutscenes and making you feel for the characters. I really care about the, you know, the characters that I play as and the scenarios they go into. The main thing is the decisions. Decisions that you make, certain decisions can have huge impact on the rest of the story, you know, for the character. Or sometimes there'll be a time this choice, right? I talked about this before, where basically in it you gotta decide, okay, we only have 5 seconds to decide. Do I go the aggressive route, the more civil route, or you know, or like a more neutral route? So sometimes, you know, but there's many different options and all that. Yeah, just overall replayability. There's one where a character in the game, they want to end a bad way or a good way, and it's really gonna have an impact on the main outcome, like, of the story, you know. So how you shape this character has a huge impact, like, on how the story will end, you know. So again, a replayability. It's mainly interactive experience of buttons, you know. QTEs, like when a button shows up like on the screen, you press it, you know. But no, the controls, why didn't rank it out, the controls again. It needs the movement, the mechanics. It needs polish. It needs to be polished. Doesn't feel fluent. And mainly because it is restricted to the interactive cutscene experience. But like with the QTEs, really add that, you know. Sometimes it can be kind of inconsistent. Like opening doors feels very, you know, weird, clunky. It needs more, you know. I need to have more, feel more fluent to it. And just overall controls. There's one where you gotta tilt the controller left. Sometimes it's telling you to do it, but I won't. It's not registering properly, so you can't do it properly. You gotta, turn the controller forward, then tilt. It's weird. Next one is gonna be Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2, I really like the 5. This is number 5. So we're in the top 5 now. I like the presentation of it. The overall, the upgrade systems and the challenges, and you can really feel the. Now I know it's one of the most popular gaming franchises ever. You know, I gotta play the 1 remake soon. Play more of it, but yeah, there's lots to it. You know, no open world. At times can feel bland. I know it's an older game. It is an older game, you know, and there's tons going on in the game. It being the second game, right? Though there's something like when you're basically like in a dream sequence or something like that. A simulation. So the world around you is not real, even though starting out like the first 2 hours of the game. It's kind of weird, but yeah, upgrades, lots of upgrades, lots to see. There's different characters that you play as well. Yeah, if you guys know the series, right? If you guys know it, this one starts out with what's the name? Roxas. And yeah, but the challenges are actually really well, you know, are really well done. Early on in the game is really well done. I only played 6 hours of the game, 7 hours, but I'm gonna play more of it, you know. In the top 4 is Prey. Now Prey, I'm not talking much about this because I already talked about Prey's exploration base. Very exploration heavy is what keeps me in the game. When I play Prey, Bethesda has that thing where when you play the game, you almost don't want to put the controller down. Keeps you, you know, so immersed in the game. I can't wait to see what happens next. Or what's gonna happen if I let this, you know, if I explore this area or shoot this enemy. There's different weapons. Now, the only reason why I didn't rank it higher, it is unfair. You're gonna die a lot of difficulty spikes. You know, difficulty just feels weird. And there is, as far as I know, there is only one difficulty. As far as I know, I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. So there is one set difficulty. So yeah, there's tons of stuff in the environment that can kill you. Radiation, broken bones, you know, no oxygen, electricity. There's tons of things. So you gotta watch out for a lot of things. It reminds you of Dead Space. You're in space basically. And there's puzzles, there's problem solving, there's key cards. Certain key cards that you need to explore the area, and yeah, it opens certain airlocks or whatever that will go to different rooms, different areas, the engineering, the research, med bay. There's different types of. There's the excavation zone. There's different areas in the game that will have certain different collectibles. Number 3 is going to be Castlevania: Lord of the Shadows. God of War 3 reminds me very much like God of War 3, which is what I really love. This is my type of game. Third person action adventure heavy, very action adventure heavy. You know, but if you play God of War 3 or the old God of War, it's basically like that. Hack and slash heavy, very hack and slash, tons of upgrades, and this has tons of upgrades. Tons. I lose track of the upgrades. And yeah, now you have a soul blade that gives you health. It's a soul blade. I believe it summons ice, and then there's these gauntlets that summon fire. It's pretty cool. Very and similar to Devil May Cry 2 in a way. It's very similar. Now, nice cutscenes as well, even though some of the characters I don't really care for. But nice presentation of cutscenes. Voice acting is top notch. Progression, like I said, tons of upgrades, tons of upgrades. Progression. You progress by going through the world. There's platforming, climbing, hack and slash, stealth. Stealth is why I didn't make this 2, but the stealth part is slow, it's bad, it needs to be taken out of the game. And the exploration could have been better. But apart from that though, a good game, a solid game. Give it a try. I gotta sale on this. The guy sold it to me for $5. $5 Canadian. You can't get. Come on, it's a great deal. The game is like 8 years old now, so yeah. And Konami, I didn't realize Konami made it. So same company that made Metal Gear Solid with Kojima, but Kojima is not this. I'm not sure, but yeah. Then number 2 is LA Noir. Now, recently played this. Great. Now, when I play LA Noir, I can't put the controller down. Because LA Noir has a thing where, similar to Detroit Become Human, there's choices in the game. So there's certain choices. So you're basically a detective in like the 1940s. So you're a police officer, you go around and you gotta investigate these murder scenes or someone going missing. And then you go around to certain witnesses, and then you really have to pay attention to the evidence. You really closely, and who told you this, what led to this, and then you go to the witness, and there's the option of truth. Are they telling the truth? Is there doubt in what they're saying, or is there lying? Are they lying? And you have the option to go over the evidence every time you talk to a witness. Yeah, you quickly review the evidence to see if they're lying or not. Sometimes their stories don't match up with what the evidence, says, and that's what the evidence is there to help you. It's really fun. It's really good. It is treated like a since Rockstar, it is treated like a GTA game, kind of. It's not full on exploration, but I can drive. It's third person. There's shootouts, and you can explore the world. Even though this is more linear. It is more linear, I would say, than GTA. It does a great job, though. It does a great job of it being linear is what makes it really work, right? Because you get to the story. That's the best part of it. And great cutscenes and facial animations for a game. The game came out mostly 2012. I can't remember when this came out, but around 11, 12, 13, 10, 8, 9, 10 years ago. So great facial animations and graphics, though, like in the faces. It was great. They did remaster this, so if you want an upgraded version, you can get the PS4, I believe, version of this. LA Noir now. And not much really to say. The driving could be more fluent and smooth, but there is problems with the. No. Apart from that, it's pretty good, And you really have to pay attention. And the main thing has the evidence. Number 1, the best game, the new game that I bought is Dishonored 1. I played it. When I played the game, I want to play more and more Bethesda. More and more. I want to see what happens. You're basically this guy. You've been accused of murder, even though I didn't do it. Then there's these shadow demons that killed the queen, but even though they teleported away, you're the last one there like at the scene, so they blame you. Corvo, that's your name. So it's pretty fun. It's mostly stealth oriented. It is first person, right? So it is a first person type game. The cool thing about the game, again, there's different approaches. You can teleport. You can summon a rat swarm to fight for you. You can even summon. What's the other one again? There is a crossbows you can get. There is a dual wield knives and swords and guns. It's in the 18th century, so you still had swords, but it was around the time of guns were becoming dominant. So you had pistols, you had the shotguns or whatever. I got a Game of the Year awards the first time around the same time LA Noir came out. Fun, really good game. I highly recommend this game. Exploration too, so you can always go back and explore areas. There's collectibles. You're collecting things like so many different type of things. Intel, you're collecting intel. You're collecting a certain type of food, like food for health and all that. Like we're playing Witcher, and I believe there's medicine. There's certain type of injectors they use for health as well. There's stamina injectors and all that. So yeah, going throughout the world, and there is lore throughout the world. So lore is Lore, like mysteries about the world. That's been revealed. that you can go around the world, and newspapers, articles, reading it about, you know, what's going on around you. And the game can be hard. It can be very hard. There's lots of enemies. There's tons of enemies. You're gonna be outnumbered a lot, which is why I can use the rat swarm. There is something where, similar to in Skyrim, you use a shout like, so you can basically blow wind. So you basically can summon wind and blow the enemies away, like if you're outnumbered or cornered, you know. Yeah, so that's my number one. So again, all these games, the newer games that I played, I never ranked these games before. One day I'm gonna rank these games. Some of these games, one day I'm gonna do a top 50 games of all time, and some of these games will be on it. Or I'm gonna rank them based on their platform. And again, I rank, this video is gonna be called a game collection because it's all the platforms. So it's PSP, PS2, PS3, PS4. It's games from different platforms, Xbox 360, you know. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys play any of these? Do you guys plan to? And give me some feedback on the video. Again, based on my opinion, and I ranked 15 to 1. So 1. So again, my top 5 is Dishonored 1, 2 is LA Noir, 3 is Castlevania Lord of the Shadows 2, 4 is Prey, 5 is Kingdom Hearts 2. Thank you guys for watching. Take care.